Salut mes amis, welcome to the Iron Squid. It is time for Group C. Game number 2 of match number 1 to go down. We are getting the opportunity to see Brown battle against Liquid Taeja in the second match with my favorite French caster, Kelaris. Salut Kelaris. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est bon? C'est bon, c'est bon.
Très oui, très oui.
Okay. Okay, so we have now some more games on the way. It's going to be game 2. We're going to be loading up onto Ohana. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be... I was going to say super. I don't even know if that's French. I guess so.
Stupendement.
Just anything in that accent will work.
Yeah, and anything like for any of you who don't know, if you want to make something a French-ism, you can put the "mon." For instance, fantastic. I don't know what it is in French, but I can say fantastisement, and it sounds French. So spawning in the top left corner, from team himself, it is Brown, currently down 0-1.
Poor Mr. Brown, and he's going to be going up against an opponent that played very, very well in game number 2. He goes by game number 1 even. He goes by the name of Liquid Taeja.
Now, this map is called Ohana, and as you know, Ohana in Korean means stop talking about it already. So,
yeah,
interesting name for a map. Taeja building supply depot at the front of his base. Brown, the pylon in his. This is a map where I really do like some of the non-expand plays.
Yeah, the non-expand players are pretty cool. You see a lot of 1-1-1s actually on this map. Actually, we saw Empire Cass play against Grubby yesterday in the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers, and it's furious, is what I want to say. It's absolutely brutal to try and hold off. There are a few nuances that you can notice it via, but still, even if you do know it's coming, it's still really, really hard to deal with.
It's absolutely true. The fact that the tanks have these narrow passages. To be able to just have everything cluster in is really, really, really nice for the 1-1-1. Taeja already opening up with that fast refinery. However, Taeja on this map characteristically doesn't go for the 1-1-1, does tend to like 2-racks plays.
Yeah, those 2-racks plays can come extremely aggressively as well. And, I mean, Brown, if he is greeted by something like that, we'll see how well his very apparently versed his defensive skills can deal with that. He looked pretty darn good in his defenses in game 1, so if something like that would come out again here, then he should... Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he should be okay, but that could blow up in my face quite quickly.
And there it is. We see the reactor and barracks coming up. Now, if Taeja knew the super special day 9 push, it's the same thing as the 2-racks, except you get 3 racks, an extra marine, and the attack comes 15 seconds earlier. Can I just throw that out there?
Wait a minute. Wait, that's not 2-racks. It's not the super special day 9 2-racks. This is the super special day 9 3-racks.
Well, I suppose so, but specifically if you go depot, barracks,
okay,
then refinery, then barracks, you skip the reactor.
Yeah.
So you have 2 barracks without add-ons making the marines, instead of 1 barracks with a reactor making the marines, and then you just get the tech lab. It's pretty slick little build.
Wow.
It doesn't actually really matter that much, because at the end of the day, the biggest flaw with my Terran play is that I'm not Liquid Taeja. So I'm more than comfortable just hanging down in my sad sub-GSL level, so...
No. I just saw someone in chat say that Ohana means bacon. I'm down with that.
It does, yes. Ohana is Korean for bacon. And Ohana is actually a Korean word that is one of the most generic words, covers most of the... it's what you say if you don't know what you want to say, really.
Yeah.
And this is an odd play from Taeja. He's going for this very fast stim. It won't be done in time for his push. Normally we see combat shield. What do you make of this, Kelaris?
You're right. This is pretty interesting. It almost seems as if he wants to go for some kind of 2-racks play, but might end up like expanding behind it and then eventually going for a secondary push. But I mean, he's making so many units. Does he really delay it 130 seconds from now and then push? That's kind of crazy.
Well, looks like we have the follow-up factory. I'd imagine he wants to be going for some sort of timing where he has Medivacs line up with the stim, but I'm not so sure how I feel about that. Brown is just going for a straight-up one base. He got information on the gas and said, I don't need an expansion. I need to not die.
Yeah. It's really weird how this map actually plays out, because it is so small that one bases can work out very well, but you can still see big macro games as well. So Brown's taking good precautions here against what he's scouted out and seen from his opponent. And as such, Taeja, again, it seems as if he wants to, eventually get aggressive with... You're right, the Medivacs and Stim lining up would be super, super cool. And Brown is going to try and take an expansion. This might be kind of risky for him.
I think Brown's set himself up in fantastic position. I mean, he's going for the big Sentry Immortal push, and I mean, honestly, one base Marine Marauder functions a lot like roaches early on. As long as you can get nice force fields and have an Immortal, you just smoke it down.
Yeah. I think that also, like what Taeja's doing here, he's actually added the tech lab onto the factory. So is he gonna go for? Oh, okay. There's the tanks actually rolling out with this. So. I mean, what we said about a 1-1-1 might not be so impossible here. Taeja seems to be gearing up for that kind of play, and I haven't seen Taeja do that many 1-1-1s. Is this something that he executes well?
Well, see, ordinarily I would say this is brilliant, because ordinarily it would be just gateway units trying to deflect this early push, and then you transition into the tank Banshee play, and there's not really that much that your opponent can do about it, because he has all gateway units, he's missing that key Robo Tech. But right now, Brown can easily just throw down his Robo facility, or he can do exactly what he's doing and just move out into the center of the map, and there's, once again, not that much that the opponent can do about it. Oh, look at that, Robo Bay. This is what's going to be the issue for Taeja. I'm actually not feeling so strong about this for Taeja. His micro is phenomenal, but still, I prefer Brown's position.
Yeah, and back there, actually, at Taeja's base, we saw Taeja trying to sim up, trying to kill off an observer, but he didn't get it. So that wastes a little bit of the income he's going to have in terms of trying to rebolster these forces. And now, Brown sees everything. So he's going to retreat back just a little bit here. He has a lot of force fields. He has those two Immortals in place. Does he have enough gateway production to be able to stifle this push?
Well, right now, the fact that he is at this watchtower, I think, is very smart.
Ooh.
He's going to be able to defray this push for quite some time. He's doing the warp into the main base. What a clever little play. He needs the Colossus at home to defend, but the Zealots aren't really going to play that big of a role in this fight. It's going to largely be the force fielding, and we see that Brown is pulling back while doing this harassment. Taeja's just going to go for it. Oh!
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's Zealots in your main, what better way to use those SCVs is to just pull them all and use them as meat shields. And pretty good melee units, as for now, we have Brown throwing down a few force fields, trying to deal with this push as best he can do. He needs to buy more time. He wants that first Colossus out. He's having to evacuate the entirety of his natural here, and Taeja is applying a lot of pressure.
Well, I think Brown is playing this out perfectly, abandoning the natural expansion. He is up against a 0 base Terran, and 1 is oftentimes greater than 0, so he's just going to be holding back. Taeja tries to run up the ramp, but again, the Colossus is the key unit in this defense. And it looks like he's decided to step forward. He could have used his Immortals to pick off that tank, but those dang Zealots were in the way. Yuck.
And now we have Taeja actually... he's actually sieging up the Robo facility. If we can take that out, no more Colossus out here, nor Immortals for Brown. Force fields go down once again. Taeja's applying a lot of pressure once again. He's pushing in at every single angle right now. This is the last bastion of hope for Brown to deal with. But actually, he's killing off quite a lot of Marines, but there's so many left.
Gosh, Brown's running real dry on that force field front. More Zealots trying to warp in. Brown's army gets bigger and bigger by the second. There's engagement number 2. Trying to pick off the Colossus. I don't think that's the decision that he wants to be making right now. That Colossus, even though it's the big damage dealer, has a lot of Zealots there to guard it, and it looks like Brown has decided that now's the time. It's all going to come down to this final fight, and the Marine numbers are dwindling so rapidly. Probes going after the tank. Brown!
Oh my god!
Oh,
There's no more CVs left! So Brown is just gonna roll over this, and Taeja now is... There you go!
GG Brown. Brown. Welcome to Brown Town.
Oh my god. What did you...
Oh my god, Taeja wearing the brown frown.
Very brown frown, man. Taeja. Okay, so I want to come back to that, actually, because that's one of the... not really the first time I've seen it, but it's a key example of dealing with a 1-1-1 just by having one or two zealots at your opponent's base. That is a horrible situation for a Terran to be in, because it's all or nothing from that point on. You're halfway through the middle of the map. What do? Do you turn around? No, you don't turn around. You rally some reinforcements to there. A few Marines reinforcing out. They're not really going to deal with zealots that quickly, so kind of a sketchy situation.
That's a really rough spot for Taeja, because ordinarily the reason a 1-1-1 works so well is that you open up either with Hellion pressure or Banshee pressure, or both. And what does that mean? The opponent has to build Stalkers.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of Stalkers to be able to defend that. And all that delays that critical Colossus. And it means that the Protoss player cannot be hanging out in the middle of the map alone, because a Cloaked Banshee can kill off those units or can kill off your probes back home. All that makes the Protoss all hold up, so Terran can move across the map easily, freely, and siege up instantly. But we saw there, Brown already had his Robotech well down the line. There was no Hellion or Banshee threat, so very straightforwardly Brown kind of just warped into the main, controlled the center of the map, got the quick Colossus, and even then it was hard to hold off, but I'm glad it panned out the way it did, because for entertainment value, that was rocking.
Yeah, that was impressive. So, guys, we are going to go to a short commercial break here. 1-1 between Taeja and Brown. Don't go anywhere as we see game number 3 in just a second.